Okay, Bob Wallis. Hey, bud. Great meeting you today. Thanks for schlepping down for your first lesson. Here's what we covered. We talked about the major scale being the foundation of music theory, and we played it on a first string only. So the pattern here, instead of thinking about frets, I want you to think about scale degrees, and I want you to think ahead of time that there's a half step between the third and fourth degree and the seventh and the eighth, but everything else by default is a whole step interval. So you have open, or excuse me, we should say one, whole step to two, whole step to three, now a half step to four. 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it's worth digressing for a minute and just connecting your 7 to 8 and your 3 to 4 to hammer home that point. You can also play it on any of the 6 strings, B major, to sort of reinforce that idea. You could even start on a note that's not an open string. We'll start on this high G, play the same pattern. 1, 2, 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7 to 8. And the articulations I gave you in the key of E were such. The on-off is this. This is a very kind of grass texture when you play it fast. I kind of screwed that up. Then I want you to do the up-down. So it's up on the high E, down on the B. Get this flowing in your right hand so you don't have to think about it or look at it. And then just play the scale. Then we had the sliding scale. Start with hammering on E to F sharp and then just strike and slide. Just an eighth note pattern. 1 and 2 and then do a drone variation on that where you do a double stop with the first 2 strings. So the open B is always open. Just to save time, of course. So that's your first string workout, and the big takeaways are some of the technical work in the right hand, but the fact that a major scale is 8 notes punctuated by 2 half-step junctures, 3 to 4, and 7 to 8. And then we use the same logic to build what's called a chord scale, which means the 7 notes of a scale, each of those 7 become a chord, and those are the chords in the key of whatever. So in this case, we're going to do E major, excuse me, and we talked about the fact that the 1, 4, and 5 are major, so there's always 3 major chords, and symmetrically, which is awesome, there's always 3 minor chords. So the 1, 4, and 5 are major, and the 2, 3, 6 are minor. 7's diminished, and we're leaving that out for now. So I want you to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give it some rhythm, have some fun with it, make a picking pattern. It can be musically interesting to you. But when you're doing it, also call the name of the chords out. E, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A, etc. And of course do it in reverse as well. And then we pointed out the fact that while all 6 are important, 1, 4, 5 are the dominant ones. And you could play it this way, which is very cool sometimes, but is also inefficient. So then I encourage you to play all of these in the open position. So we're organizing your open chords into key centers. And the 5 key centers follow our open strings. E being the sort of principal guitar key with 4 sharps. A has 3. They just go down progressively. D has 2 sharps. G has 1. And we don't have a C string, but the key of C has no sharps or flats, as you know. I call those the big 5 guitar keys. They're the ones we're almost always playing in, unless you're playing jazz every day. So that's E, A, D, and G. E, A, D, G, C, excuse me. So for those 5 keys, you're just going to work on your 1, 4, 5. So E. Okay, key of A. Key of D. Etc. And I wrote those down. So, make a little bit of music out of them. Write, as an exercise, a simple song in each one. Some you can learn them in a rote way at first, 1, 4, 5, 1, and then you can just begin to mix and match and kind of create your own progressions with them. That's it, bud. Hope this made sense. Have fun. I'll see you next week.